Do good work is not a label, but a way of living. It is the constant and diligent effort to achieve a new level of excellence in one's own life. It is the hidden inner beauty behind the struggle to achieve excellence. It's not perfect, but imperfect. It is the effort, discipline, and focus that often goes unnoticed. The goal of Do Good Work is to highlight that drive. The guests I have on this show emulate this drive in their own special way. You'll be able to apply new ideas into your own life by learning from them. We will also have one-on-one episodes with me where we'll dive into my own experience with entrepreneurship and leadership. Every episode is designed to provide you with ideas that you can apply and grow in excellence in all areas of your life, business, and career.
One of the things that I've recently employed in my life and my work is not having meetings. And this was definitely influenced by my meeting as well as, discovery of some of the work of Ari Mizell. So definitely check out his stuff. But I'm not trying to eliminate completely not having any calendar meetings in my calendar. I still have meetings and I have important meetings scheduled in there, but I want to be able to articulate the fact that most of your meetings right now, and yes, I'm talking to you, most of your meetings are unnecessary. You might be nodding your head right now. You might be like, don't fast forward to the next podcast. I'll tell you why if you disagree. But I truly believe that most meetings, and I've seen this, experienced this, had this, and others have too. Most meetings can be not well prepared, total over time. It might be even feel like a waste of time. I know if you're facilitating meetings right now, please bear with me. I know I will get to why I'm saying this, but not all meetings are a waste of time. Let's just put that clear out there. We humans still need to meet with each other. And there is that psychological factor that I've seen is that when you're actually with another human being, be it Zoom or Teams or whatever tool you're using to meet nowadays remote, we still feel like there's a level of importance if someone else is on the other side and listening to us, and we feel like we're being heard and taken care of. That's why I believe we covet and care about meetings so much. But to be completely fair and honest with you, you can still, not the feeling, but you still convey the information necessary without meeting. So there are different levels of meetings, there are different tiers of meetings, and there are some things that you should meet about, and other things like why are you even meeting and wasting your time? Because when you're, again, that was a little bold, but let me explain. The reason why is if you're meeting and you're wasting your time, you're just we're disrespecting your own time. And that's very frank and bold and up there, but you're just disrespecting your own time and the time that you're having other people meet with you. And that takes a level of ownership to understand. Now, if you're still with me and you skipped on and haven't skipped on to the next episode or the next podcast, or the reason why is because we just haven't really identified how can we facilitate this information in a different way for us to save time, respect each other's time, and focus our knowledge and brain power on things that are higher leverage, things that open up more opportunities in problems worth solving. Now, again, this doesn't go that every company or every team or every organization doesn't need to go with that meetings. Meetings are still important. Just put that out there. Having team bonding, super important. We're not going to talk about team bonding because I assume that within your team, your organization, you're facilitating that and you're encouraging people to have a, rapport with one another. Because I've had this, I remember, making a phone call. I wouldn't say which industry it was, but it was a very transactional phone call. I was trying to reach out to someone who introduced me to this individual here in San Diego. And it was way like such a transaction, no rapport building, get to the point. What's the thing? And okay, am I going to do business with that person? No. But again, I'm not trying to go on a tangent, but I'm trying to say that when you're working with your team and you're actually meeting, you're setting times to me, it's important to have team bonding time. If it's buffer before, buffer after, or just setting time aside, maybe on a Friday in an afternoon, just if you can meet, or if you're in a local geographical space, just being able to meet together and go axe throwing or something, or just have fun, right? I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the fact that most of the meetings communications that you have might be redundant. Here's a couple ways to be able to see, are my meetings actually as proactive as they can be? And how can I classify my meetings, and how can I optimize so that we can, move things faster, communicate things efficiently, and be able to come prepared, if we do decide to meet. So this is part of how we can shorten the gap between information and action. So there's essentially three components, three tiers, three different areas of how we can shorten gaps between information and action. And that's always through communication. From communication stems information. From the information stems action. When you take action, you can take more information from that and communicate more from that. So these three pillars work in tandem. So that's communication, information, and action. So those three things work together. Now, when you do that, though, you need to combine that. You need to combine that with the way that you currently meet with your team. And I will go as far to argue that there's only really, let's just say, three categories of meetings, like productive meetings. And we'd love to know your thoughts if you find a different category. But outside of team building and fun stuff, there's essentially three categories, and that's strategic. Category 1 is strategic. Category 2 is edifying. That's edifying. And then category 3 is action-oriented. And what I like to do is be able to identify the categories of these types of meetings and give a rating or a scale, like how important are they? So a strategic meeting would be one about actually, hey, let's plan the next quarter and figure out what are our strategic objectives, and being able to bring in all our stakeholders and shareholders involved with this so that we can make sure that we focus our energies on the right things. Is that worth meeting about? You bet. Is for edifying, let's say you're doing a training and you're training about a new update, a new software update, and you need to make sure that everyone is involved, or you're training about the new phone system that your department created. Now, is that worth meeting about and scheduling, let's say 30, 50 people on an hour and a half phone call or Zoom call? Is that worth meeting? I would say maybe. And here's why. We want to be able to identify, can this be done offline? Can this be done when it's convenient for the team, but have a due date for it? Because if you're just transferring information, why can't I just transfer this information at 2 to 3x speed at my own time and not have to sit through, let's say, an hour, 45 minutes, an hour and a half of information that might as well be on a video, when I can focus on other activities like strategic things? So it's just one thing to keep in mind. The last category is action-oriented. Now, when it comes to action-oriented, sometimes these meetings are set in place so that you can actually work and do stuff. And I know that was okay to do when you were in school, like meeting together to work on a project or something. But when you're working in the career in a fast-paced environment, like, it doesn't make sense to sit down and either figure out what should we work on, or let's work together to do this. Sometimes it makes sense, but to be honest with you, most of that can be done way offline. Meaning it can be done on communication chats and threads, that can be done in your project management software, that can be done with video recordings back and forth to facilitate action so that you can actually focus your energy on implementing the work. So when it comes to what meetings are for, bottom line is identifying how can we shorten the gap between information and action using communications, extracting information, storing information, extracting actions and storing actions, assigning actions, that trifecta, and then categorizing the current meetings that you have in place, and then giving yourself a rating. How am I doing? Are all of my meetings strategic? Odds are they won't be, and that's okay. We're human. We're not all going to be like shooting stars, and I get that. But are most of my meetings something that can be done offline? When you start identifying that, and you see, wow, 90%, 80%, 70% of my meetings, I actually don't need to be live on. Then that bears a question. How can we make this better? What can we change? And what are these meetings actually for?